We are discussing movements in animals. 8th Standard Science, Unit 19. Movements in animals. What is the meaning of that lesson? What is the meaning of that lesson? So movements means it is moving from this one place to other place. In this, animals, do you know that? So we are animals. So are you understand? Introduction. There are so many movements that happen in our bodies. Sit habitually, absolutely still, and observe the movements taking place in your body. You must blinking your eyes from time to time. There will be movements in your body as you breathe. Different parts of your body move while you remain at the same place. There are different ways how animals move from one place to place. For example, a cow uses its legs to walk. A snake uses a whole body to slither or crawl. A bird uses its wings to fly. A fish uses its fins to swim, and humans uses their legs to walk. Walking, rolling, flying, and swimming. These are only few ways in which animals move one place to other. Now we are discussing on land. So, how do animals are moving from this one place to other place? So for this example, how? So moving from that, moving it used from that legs, and also for this we are using this legs walking. At the same time, so we discussed about in this instant of this fishes using for this fins and this swimming in the aquatic medium. So next, movement and locomotion. Although both movements and locomotions sound similar in meaning, they are few interesting difference between these two terms. Movement is generally defined as the act of changing the place or position by one or more parts of the body. As the act of changing the place or position by one or more parts of the body. Movement helps to perform necessary functions such as pumping of blood to different parts of the body in an organism. Movement can be both voluntary and involuntary. For example, walking is a voluntary movement while breathing is an involuntary movement. So, we are discussing about this movement. First, movement and locomotion, it's a similar meaning, but it's a some difference. So, some difference having this a few having this difference. So, movement is, so it is a change. It is a change place or position by one or more parts of the body. So, if your eye is rotating, for the example, your eye is rotating but the same place, blinking of eyes, rotating of eyes. So, you have upper and lower, you have to see. So, that is the eyes movement, but it is movement, not changing that position in the place, but the same place it is situated. It is occupied this in your body, but the eyes is moving from this other internal organs, that means the nerves and this objectives and this eye pods that's having this various parts of the eyes. Do you know that? So next one, it is the movements can be for this two divided into this two voluntary and this involuntary. For this, the two types of this movements are here in your body, voluntary and involuntary. Voluntary means the nerve impulse it is to through to this it is order of that this brain, that is a voluntary movement. So involuntary movement means that is that in order of that is not having that this order from that brain. So involuntary movement. So for the example, walking is a voluntary movement and as a breathing is an involuntary movement. Breathing is always happen in the body. Movement is of an organisms from one place to another place is known as locomotion. So movement of an organism, so one place to another place, that is the locomotions. So instead of this movement as the act of changing the place or position by one or more parts of the body. So instead it is a movement of organism. That is the first we learn about this movement. Next, that organism moving from one place to other place. It is called locomotions. So locomotions helps on organism to find food, avoid the harsh weather conditions, escape from the predator, etc. Walking, running, and swimming are few examples for different types of locomotions. In this process, there is action of appendages like some such as limbs, wings, flagella, cilia. In most of the aquatic animals such as fish, whales, and shark, the locomotion results from the series of wave-like muscle contractions. So it says that for this examples of this are earthworm. So let us study about this different types of animals. So I understand. First one it is movement. Movement, what is the movement? As the act of changing the place or position by one or more parts of the body. It is involved in this more parts of the body. That is, instead of the movement means that organism move from one place to other place. That is the locomotions. There are various ways you have to follow. Various parts it can be followed. So in this human beings, so you have to use for the legs. Walking, running, this swimming. So in the fishes swimming, so you have to use for that in the fishes fins. So there's a lot of appendages and actions that takes place in our bodies, in the each organisms. So each organisms means it can be differentiated into limbs, wings, and churches, flagella and cilia. So I understand. So next we discussed about this. What is the difference between this locomotions and movement? So already I discussed about this. Locomotion is the movement of an organism from one place to another. So movement is the act of changing the place or position by one or more parts of the body. It is always voluntary. It is always voluntary. It is always voluntary. It is locomotion takes place at the organism's level. Locomotion takes place at the organism level. So movement takes place at the biological level. So locomotion does not necessarily require. So movements energy. Require energy. Movements requires energy. Movements requires energy. So next one is the movement of different animals. Movement of different animals. Movement is one of the significant features of living beings. This is the basic mechanism used in majority of the vertebrates, including human. Animals exhibit a wide range of movements. In this part, let us study about these movements in different animals. So do you know that movement is a very important one of this all the living beings, because the movement means so all the body organisms are functions. All the body organisms, it is a functions. It's a normally in human beings, movements it takes place in our whole body. The whole body organisms. So next one it is we discussed about this. First one, earthworm. Do you know this earthworm? Yes, you all know that earthworm. The body of earthworm is made up of many rings jointed end to end. It has muscles with the help to extend and shorten the body. Under its body, it has large number of bristles called the setae, which are connected with muscles. These bristles help to get grip on the ground. So during the movement, the earthworm first extends the front part of the body, keeping the rear portion is fixed to the ground. Then it fixes the front end and releases the rear end. So it then shortens the body and pulls the rear end forward. So this makes it move forward by the small distance. Repeating such muscles contractions and relaxation, the earthworm can move through the soil. The slimy substance secreted by its body helps this movement. So do you know this, the earthworm? So earthworm. Manbulu. Sorry, understand for this, sir. Earthworm. So earthworm, it is a terrestrial invertebrate. So that incapitates of this upper layers of the moist soil. So rich decaying organic matter. It is an nocturnal animal during the daytime. It lives as a burrows by marrowing and swallowing the soils. In the gardens, they can traced by the fecal deposits known as worm castings on the soil surface. So the body of the earthworm. So see that this picture. So this is the earthworm. So this is the earthworm. So the body having this seated. The body having this some segments. So that is called this seated. Large number of bristle legs. That means segmented like this. So which are connected for this that muscles. Which is connected muscles. This muscles can be contractions takes place in this the muscles. So in that muscles help to this grip on this the land. So first one is the first part is contractions. The first one is contractions. The remaining portion is fixed to this soil. Let's move for this some distance. Then it can be released. So if in this way, it can be followed by this movement in the earthworm. So you understand that way it can be moved from this one place to other place. That is the movements. Next one it is cockroach. Do you see that the cockroach? So everywhere it is that cockroach. Cockroach is a cosmopolitan insects. Cosmopolitan insects means it can be spread in this all the sides. So all this. So it is living in this tap and warm places are quite common in kitchens, hotels, bakeries, restaurants, warehouses, sewage and public places. So we discussed about this cockroach. A cockroach has 3 pairs of jointed legs which help it to walk, run and climb. So it also has 2 pairs of wings for flying, large and strong muscles helping the movement of legs. The body is covered by chitin, a light protective material. Chitin is shed regularly so that body can grow. So you see that this picture, cockroach, that cockroach having this. How many legs are there? In this side, each side having 3 legs. So that each leg having this number of parts. I think 5 parts are here in that. So in this hairs are present. The skin is made up of this chitin. The skin is made up of this chitin. So that is segmented and divisible into these 3 distinct regions: head, thoracic and is abdomen and is abdomen regions. It is a hot brown colored chitin is exoskeleton. So in each segment is exoskeleton coated plates is called sclerites. So articular membrane is present. So the head of this cockroach is a small and triangular in shape. So right angles to this are longitudinal body axis. So the mouth parts it is directed downward. So it is called the hyponothus. So you have to study it in this higher classes. So I understand. So next one it is birds. Birds can walk on the ground and fly as well. Some birds can also swim in water. A bird has streamlined body. Its bones are light and strong. They are hollow and have air spaces between them. The lower portion of the limbs are modified as gloves, which help them to walk and to perch. The breast bones are modified to hold the massive flight muscles, which help in moving wings up and down. Bats have special flight muscles and the forelimbs are modified as wings. The wings and tail have long feathers, so which help in flying. Birds show 2 types of flighting: gliding and flopping. During the gliding, the bird has its wings and tail spread out. In this movement, the bird uses air currents for going up and down. Flapping is an active flight. The bird beats the air by flapping its wings. It uses flight feathers for their purpose. So do you know this the birds? You have to see that the birds. So are you like it the birds? Yes, we are liking this the birds. So how do birds are walking? How do birds are flying? So 2 types of this that birds are flying. 2 types. First one it is the gliding movement and this is the flopping movement. So do you know that? This is how to walking in this ground and this flying in this and air. So some birds you have to see that in this water. It is the birds having this streamlined body. So because of this, it tearing this air. So in this body it is streamlined. In the body it is streamlined. So its bones are very light in weight. So and also it is strong, but it is strong. The bones is light, but it is strong. So the hollow air space are present. Because of this, you have to flight is the air space. Air sacs are present in our body, so that it can be flight. So it can be flighting. So the lower portion of the limbs are modified as claws and help to walk and perch. Perch means it can be sit on the side in the branches, tree branches. The breast bones that is in front of the bones are modified as a massive flight muscles. Massive flight muscles is the number of muscles are present in this that helping of the wings it can be up and down. So there are two types of this. Forelimbs and the hind limbs are present. So flight muscles, that muscles are modified as a wings. That muscles modified as a wings. Two types of this movements are clear here in the birds, bleeding and flopping. Bleeding means the wings or tails spread out. So you see that this picture is the bleeding and bleeding movement. The birds uses the air currents and going up and downs. So flopping means it is a active flight. Because of this it can be reducing this at the reducing that they use flight for this purpose.